This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore.
You should not trust Republicans. Anything they say is suspect. They are liars, and they are complicit in the stripping away of civil rights of Americans. They are part and parcel to a system of government that is by nature oppressive. They waive their constitutions and they act like they're all about liberty and individual freedom, but they are not. They are most certainly not. And the most recent example of this is the overturning of Roe v. Wade by the, as Chuck Schumer has called it, MAGA-controlled court, the fascist enabler, the fascist implementers in the Supreme Court, our 6-3 idiot Supreme Court. They overturned, the end of June, they overturned Roe v. Wade, a 50-year decision, leaving it to the states to decide whether or not abortion is a constitutional right. More than half the states in the coming months will be implementing draconian anti-abortion measures. Many have already done so. And Republicans who for years said, oh no, it's super precedent, it's a precedent. No, that's settled law, that's settled case. No one's coming for that. They then, after this was released, started chanting about, oh, this was correct ruling because this should be given back to the states, states' rights they're so passionate about. And people on the left, people like me, said, don't believe them. They want a federal ban. And many Republicans, including Lindsey Graham, who we're going to talk about today, he was like, no, this should be for the states. This is for the states. Just last month, on August 7th, he talked about that the abortion decision should be left in the hands of the states. And then here we are, and he is introducing a bill to the Senate to federalize making abortion illegal after 15 weeks. You cannot trust them. Next will be same-sex marriage, and who knows what else? Access to contraception. It's not hyperbole. People who thought, oh, that's alarmist language, you shouldn't be saying that. They were wrong. We were right. We were right to be alarmed. We were right to ring the bell, alerting the rest of the country as to what was to come. And now it is coming to pass. And those who sat on their hands and acted like, oh no, that's just a conspiracy theory, you're just exaggerating. Remember who they were. Here's Lindsey Graham talking about his reasoning for introducing this bill.
On May 3rd, after the initial Dobbs opinion was leaked, you stated that the repeal of Roe v. Wade would mean that every state will decide if abortion is legal and on what terms. And you said that that was the most constitutionally sound way of dealing with the issue. And here you are introducing a nationwide 15-week limit. I'm wondering how you square those two statements.
Pretty easy. After they introduced the bill to define who they are, I thought it'd be nice to introduce a bill to define who we are. So the Democrats wanted a national standard, and their standard was basically abortion up to the time of birth, putting you in the Iran-Syria club. So now we're going to talk about what the nation should be like. I've introduced this bill, and I'm ready to debate it and vote on it.
So his ultimate justification is, well, we want to show them who we are. Well, Lindsey, you're succeeding, brother. You have shown us who you are. One, that you're a feckless, a liar, a sickening simp for Donald Trump and the MAGA universe. That is who you are at your core. You claimed for years to be the best friend of John McCain, and you betrayed him. This is from the recount. Very brief clip. August 7th versus September 13th. August 7th, not even a month later, or just over a month later, September 13th, saying two completely different things. Again, don't Believe them when they speak.
I think states should decide the issue of marriage and states should decide the issue of abortion. I think we should have a law at the federal level that would say after 15 weeks, no abortion on demand.
I think the state should decide. Nope, I think there should be a federal law. States' rights, unimportant. Only when it fits my narrative is states' rights important. I'm a federalist. The federal government should hold that power. A month and a week later. Liar. So the other liar I want to talk about is Mitch McConnell, because he was asked about this yesterday. And I saw people on Twitter and across the internet being cooled. Like, oh, well, at least Mitch McConnell's not totally on board with this idea. Because he was asked the same question, well, what are you going to do about bringing this to the floor? What are your feelings about this particular bill? And one, he doesn't give a direct answer, but he signals that he's cool to the prospect, that he's not exactly excited about a federal ban on abortion after 15 weeks. Watch this, and then I got the receipts. We're going to debunk what he says.
Lindsey Graham has this 15-week abortion ban. If you take the Senate, will you put this on the floor of the Senate for a vote, or will you commit to leaving this issue entirely to the states?
Well, with regard to his bill, you'll have to ask him about it. In terms of scheduling, I think most of the members of my conference prefer that this be dealt with at the state level.
Now, as with anything that is said from the gravy-necked mouth of Mitch McConnell, you have to listen because the devil is in the details, and oftentimes what he doesn't say is the most important thing. Now, what he did say there was, I think most of the members of my conference prefer that this be dealt with at the state level. He didn't say he doesn't agree or does agree. And that's important because that was asked. Because here's a headline from May 8th from Vanity Fair, a Vanity Fair piece by Charlotte Klein here. Mitch McConnell acknowledges a national abortion ban is possible if Roe is overturned. The top Senate Republican explained that a federal abortion ban is on the table in his most explicit comments to date about what the SCOTUS draft leak could mean going forward. Now remember, after the draft decision was leaked, Republicans were literally dancing in the streets, celebrating what was to come. Because in their twisted brains, they thought the majority of America would be joining them in dancing and celebrating and saying see ya to Roe v. Wade, being happy about its overturning. And then when it actually happened, they saw the poll numbers. They saw the election in Kansas. They watched what took place, and it freaked them out, including Mitch McConnell, who is a skilled tactician, if anything. He understands what's at stake and what is to come, if indeed they continue to signal the way that they believe. If indeed they continue to talk the way that they were talking. So instead of talking like he did in May about that a federal abortion ban is on the table, he's now saying, oh, I think most of the members of my conference, they don't want that. They want that dealt with the states. That's not the case. He is absolutely in lockstep with Lindsey Graham because he's a liar, because he is a manipulator, because he is a grifter and a charlatan and only concerned with power, like every other Republican, like every other Republican. So mark my words. They're coming for gay marriage next. Then they will come for contraception. They are about oppression. They are about ruling people. They're not about individual liberty. They're not about that. They're not about going about unmolested by the government. They are about oppression, the solid rock hammer of government intrusion into the lives of Americans, especially women, especially people of color. But if you're a rich white dude You struck the life lottery. Good for you. Good for me. If you're a Republican. What do you think? I'd love to know. You can call, leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. If you appreciate what I do, if I bring you some value day to day or week to week, please consider supporting my work right here. You can click the join button below, see what's involved to become a channel member. For $1.99 a month, you can become a channel member, pennies a day, or you can go over to my Patreon page, patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast, and support what I do here through Patreon. Anyway, I love you guys very much. I'll see you next time. Until I do, be genuine. Take care of one another.